Hello, everyone. Welcome to this presentation on not just Ikise as a skincare system, but how to nourish yourself from the inside out. I have a skincare specialist on for us for this particular Zoom because I am such a simple gal. Like, I've just used essential oils and carrier oil on my face pretty much my whole life. And when doTERRA came along with their gorgeous skincare Virage Essential Collection, I started using them. But I'm not really an expert. Like, I couldn't explain all the things to you. When it comes to things like Solubel, Yarrow Pom, and Blue Tansy, I'm your gal. I can go into the chemistry. I can tell you all about it. But something I learned at our convention, and so many of us put a one in the chat if you were at the recent doTERRA Australia New Zealand convention, we got to hear from the creator of this incredible skincare system, Eugene. And what he shared with us absolutely blew me away, because it's a skincare system where they looked at how we can support all skin types, because basing it on the Japanese skincare system means we're looking at working with highly sensitive skin, and Tash will go into all of that, Natasha. But also they looked at environmental standards to meet. He wanted to make sure that this just wasn't going to be in landfill and live in landfill for forever and a day. How does it decompose? He also wanted to look at, if we keep this, because we all live in different areas around the world, if we keep this and it's quite warm, it's on a high shelf, it gets too hot, too cold, what happens? Does it hold its form? Does it does the smell get lost? Do we lose efficacy or quality? The box itself is highly sustainable materials used for all of the packaging, including the box, and biodegradable. And even the design is from Japanese symbology of wood and water. So this is something that he wanted to create that would meet the highest of standards. And they call it, I'm looking at my notes here because, like you, I don't always remember everything, but they call it a natural origin standard. And all of ours are above 90%, because he wanted to make sure 90% was the minimum. And I can go through all of this with you, but suffice to say, this skincare system, and it is a system, will blow you away. And it is being created with the highest of integrity and principles in mind to meet those high skincare standards. I personally was thoroughly overwhelmed at the thought of 7 pieces of something that I had to somehow get on my face. I was like, you want me to what? So we were first introduced to this at our Blue Diamond and Presidential Diamond Summit last November. And I spoke to one of our leaders and one of my best friends, Adam Barrelay, because he deals in skincare and has for a long time, and same with his partner Juvie. And I was like, Adam, you need to just like tell me why I want to use this and why I want to use all 7 steps. And he patiently went through it with me. And so he's like, just give it a go, Ness. So I did. I started using it. And guess what I realized? Not only is it simple, it was nourishing me in a way. I deliberately do not have, I don't wear makeup, but often for Zooms, I'll put some bronzer on and, maybe like a touch of lippy or lip balm, the doTERRA lip balm and some mascara. I deliberately have nothing on my face. I've just been sitting out in the sun today. But I have never felt this good in my skin since I started to feel the differences that were occurring during the menopause journey with perimenopause. Full disclosure, I've had fantastic skin all my life. I've never had acne, issues with pimples, none of that. So I want to be upfront saying that. 2, I eat very cleanly. I've been plant-based since I was 15. 3, I pretty much splash water or a really good hydrosol, thank you Rose hydrosol, on my face, and I'm kind of done and dusted, a bit of lip balm or the gloss on my lips, and that would be me. When I started using this, I noticed how much I felt like it was feeding my skin. nourishing my skin, not just the top layer. I felt like it was like sinking in and working throughout the day. It feels plump and juicy. It's skin food for the face and what I'm calling a facegasm, because I can feel my whole face go. It's feeling incredible. So I'm going to get Tash to speak into all of this and to speak into skin sensitivities, what to use, how to support your skincare. So put a 2 in the chat if you're excited to dive in. And throughout this presentation, please feel free to put your testimonies in there. We'll collect them and we'll put them together for you all, email them out so you can use them on your socials and for your training and for people you're speaking to. Would that be helpful? Great. Okay, so Natasha McCrystal is not only one of our dear friends, she is a skin specialist and she travels the world teaching in TAFEs, teaching at day spas and huge hotels on training their staff to work with natural skincare and to make the most of it, to leverage it. So we have her here. We're so grateful to have her here. She can give you a bit more of her background, but I'll tell you this. Before we snapped her up and she joined doTERRA, she was like making her own tea to help people detox. She wanted to look at making her own essential oils and skincare. She discovered doTERRA had it all. They had the best oils that she could never, ever come close to. And so she joined us many years ago and hasn't looked back. So we're so blessed to have you in our community, Natasha. Thanks for being here. If you hear me drop into Tash, it's because I've known her for so long, but Tash and Natasha are the same person. So take it away, Natasha, and just let Sam know when you're ready for the PowerPoint. Okay, thanks everyone. Please stay on mute and use the chat for any questions.
So I am super grateful, and I just want to check and do a quick sound check because I had to swap from devices that you can all hear me okay.
Perfect.
Okay, great, because I was just thinking, oh, should I have had my earphones in? That might have been helpful. But anyway, if you can hear me, fantastic. So I'm a bit of a skin geek and I love all of the ingredients and I love to know how they work and the synergy of it all and the chemistry. So we want to make this a bit fun as well. And I don't know about all of you, but I've seen all your twos, but I'm just super excited that doTERRA has made such an amazing range for us, because it's like this beautiful Japanese luxurious product. And the Japanese are known for their natural products, and they're known for looking after the skin, for the looking after the gentleness of the Japanese skin and the irritations and the sensitivity. And they're also known for having lots of hyaluronic and lots of water-based products in there to give a nice plump and dewiness for the skin. So I'm super excited that now we also have our fantastic doTERRA essential oils in them. So this just takes it to a whole new level of skincare. So let's get into it. Before we start, I just would like to say, if you have any key questions, please pop them in the chat, because we're open to absolutely answering them in detail. I have no major hurry tonight. I wanted to clear the space because I know this is new. I know it's a new launch. I know you guys are waiting for it. A lot of you have tried it. A lot of you are still waiting, and it's on pre-order. So when you get it, I want you to feel super confident and capable to use it. So make sure all your questions are in the chat, and we're happy to answer those for you.
Okay, so, you ready for the PowerPoint? Just let Sam know, Natasha, when you're ready.
I am ready. And I just want to say, I'm just looking at myself. I actually did put makeup on. In my clinics and space, I don't put any makeup on, because I like to do, I like people when they come in and we're dealing with the skin to know that we're in the trenches together. But I was so excited tonight to be on this call with you all. And I had my suction cups happening with the oil and it was all going on. So I've actually put a nice layer on. But I'm also right in the depth of perimenopause. And I just also wanted you to take a look at how dewy I am, and also how it doesn't get stuck in the cracks and the creases, and I feel really hydrated, and that is this range. So I'm super excited for all of you to start using it. So we begin at the beginning of that, how we say it. And so Vanessa has beautifully spoken to me about how we say it, because I was going, is it called Ikise, Ikise, all the things, but it's Ikise. And that is the traditional Japanese word. And Vanessa was actually helping me understand that. But ultimately, it's about the plants and the naturalness that this range brings. And the unique selling point for Ikise is that it's infused with almost the ancient wisdom of the humic shale, with this beautiful earth-based spiritual kind of element that is of the earth, and it's got this deep cellular detox, but the rich mineral detoxification and nourishment is what makes this just an elemental, a balanced skincare range. So I think that's where we need to start, is that it actually starts with the humic shale. And so it's not just a rock sediment. It's not just like a clay. Some of us we could just brief over it and talk about it like a clay. It actually, is made from, it's derived from the shale, but it's also got that ancient plant deposits in it. So it's full of minerals and key nutrients and things. What I love about it is it also has amino acids. When you're in the skincare arena, that's an important word, and it's got lots of trace minerals. And so ultimately, throughout the system, which it is a system, it's actually detoxifying our face as well as giving to it, like what Vanessa was just saying with some of the beautiful carrier oils. And it has this beautiful synergistic system from the base, which is depositing and taking and drawing and cleansing. It's like a deep cleansing establishment as a base, through to the beautiful notes of the essential oils from the beginning to the end, starting with the high notes right through to the middle, and then the base notes in the end of the sequence. So I'm really excited about that. Another key thing to recognize with the humic shale is it helps with nutrient absorption. So it's one thing that it's drawing and detoxifying for the skin, but the second thing is we call it like a biocarrier, and that then helps take all of the beautiful key ingredients down deeper into the skin. And it's very clever, and we've got a lot of these beautiful key ingredients in this range. So we have things like hyaluronic, niacinamide, we've got peptides, vitamin C, and these are all big words and big products and ingredients that we use in the beauty industry to help support the skin as a whole. But I love how he's also had a look at finding more natural versions of those, and we'll go through that as we get through the slides. So this is about loving your skin from the inside out, like the slide suggests, and it's about carefully nourishing your skin, starting from the start to the end. And I'm not sure if some of you have actually seen, but doTERRA have supplied us beautiful booklets on it all. There's also how to run a class for those of you who run the business with doTERRA, and then it teaches people about the different skin types and the system as a whole. So it's super great. So another real key thing about this range is it works on the skin as a whole. And so I love how it works on the cellular turnover and what it actually does for our skin. And so with that today, let's talk about our skin goals. So what I was going to say is, if you would like to put some of your skincare goals, like your skin type or what you want for your skin or what you want to understand, we can start with that today. But today we're going to have a look at why we would use a 7-step skincare routine as well as the individual products. So why do we use 7 steps? I'll answer that one just very swiftly before we get into it. But ultimately, because of the elements of what the skin needs, we start with a deep cleansing. And usually if we've got like makeup, like what I've got on a little bit today, or we've got sunscreen on, for some of you who use that if they're on holidays, you've got these beautiful cleansing balms right through to a basic cleanser. And it's not basic by any means, but I talk about it just as a cleansing unit. Then we've got the lotions, the serums, we've got the skin oils, and then we also have the moisturizers as well. So it starts us on this journey of what we need. Do we need to use all of them in one turn? No. Do we use them both at every time, morning and night? Not always. And so that's just some of the things that we need to consider with this system. So it definitely is a new era of skincare. It's where those high performance ingredients meet that holistic wellness. And we can start at the beginning with the skin types and then move through each of the skincare products individually if you like tonight. I think would be great. So we've just started to speak about what makes it different, but ultimately, you know, we can delve into the toxic load. And this talks about the amount of substances that we have in our body or around our body, or what we're exposed to, that environmental load. And if you actually go through some of the booklet as well, it talks about how many substances and toxins and how many endocrine disruptors actually we are exposed to on a daily basis. So this range is deliberately dropped right in to go, okay, is it plant derived? Is it more natural? Like Vanessa spoke about the packaging, all of the special requirements that makes it so eco-friendly and clean to use. A question that Vanessa also asked me is what age would you start using this, because of the products and and how natural they are. But we're going to talk about some of the active ingredients tonight, and then we might talk about where we would sort of still hum with the Virage kit, and then where we actually would use and bring the Ikise into play, or can we even merge them together? I mean, this is even something like some of you might say, but I've still got some of my Virage, I've still got some of the Daily Collection kit. Can we do that? But tonight we're going to focus on the system as a whole, and then at the end we can even talk about that. I love these slides. So that just what we just passed through quickly there, and thank you so much for that, Sam, was that we just worked on how many chemicals we're actually exposed to, and each of you can have a really deep dive into that and have a look at what all of the different products, perfumes, hidden nasties are in a lot of products, and this is what the Ikise has actually deliberately tried to avoid. So this is the humic shale that we were starting with at the start there. And you can see here some of the, on the slide, that it talks about some of those minerals that I was addressing. So it's got lots of magnesium, calcium and iron, and that does help that dull, devitalized and diminished skin. So when we're younger, we have a lot of coenzyme existing and lots of cellular energy, and the mitochondria is like the beautiful motor that runs in our cells, and the humic shale literally gives us a bit of a shake up. So not only is it detoxifying, but it's feeding our skin with rich, deep minerals. It helps with that cellular turnover, and so therefore then it helps with that clarity on the skin. And this is just the base, of course, because as we move through each of the items of them, he's then added in certain ingredients and certain essential oils that then actually help support the skin. This is the index that we were talking about, and the natural ratings that get on, and it's really hard for products to get this rating. This meets the global clean beauty standard, and it's actually a coup for doTERRA and for Ikise that they actually have this on the packaging. And if you were to scan, it would be one of the most natural products that you can have. And then of course the Japanese also pride themselves on that. So we're going to be creating your doTERRA Ikise skin ritual, and it talks about the 7 steps, and 7 steps not to overwhelm you, but to enhance your beauty and glow. And I think we will start at the beginning. So they all have numbers on them. Hands up, how many of you have actually this range and who went to the convention? And hands up a few of you who are actually still waiting for it. So it's hard for us to see, but we're going to put it in the chat. Maybe that's a good point. So whether you have it or not, whether you have it now or whether you're in waiting for it and getting it later, what we can do is just, you can see them from the images what we're talking about, and then when they arrive, you'll actually be able to listen back to this or grab your special book and be able to have a look through. So what you'll notice is some of them have numbers on them, and they start like from 0, and they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and they have different letters and numbers on them. I'm actually just going to pull them up individually on my iPad here for us today. So step 1 is the cleansing balm. Now, if you think about an oil-based cleanser, this is it. If you think about something that wants to remove makeup easily, we do not want to be using those terrible micellar waters that some of them use. They're mostly filled with alcohol, and it's just not great for the skin at all, to gently move the makeup away. So this has got a phenomenal lineup of ingredients, including beeswax and sunflower seed oil as a base. Now, these two act as a great way to emulsify and move the makeup or sunscreen or any impurities. So it's great as a deep cleanse or as a gentle makeup remover to start. And then when we add in the lime, Litsea and petitgrain, then we have a powerhouse for deep cleansing agents. Now, I actually was doing some research just on some of these key essential oils, and someone's saying they use micellar water only. So no, we can't use that anymore. This is your new gem. This is what you will be using. So the Litsea actually has great cellular turnover properties. It actually really helps with not only deep clean the skin, which is a lot of the citrus oils do, but it has added ingredients to actually help with that cellular turnover and the cellular proliferation. And that's when the absorbic acid comes in with the vitamin C. And then these, with the key essential oils, this makes this beautiful brightening and deep cleansing action with this. Now, the trick with this one, and you'll see on the next page with this, the next cleanser, is that it talks about not moving too quickly. And so you have to, when you're actually cleansing, it says take your time, and it's like 60 seconds. And that's because when we're looking at both of these cleansers together, they have the vitamin C. And in order for the vitamin C to be activated on our skin to get the brightening effect and that deeper cellular turnover that the cleansers both do, where they have to be on our skin for a certain amount of time, and we have to emulsify with water. Vanessa, at any time, feel free to come in with any questions, or anyone if I miss anything. Otherwise, I'll keep talking. So with step one, we do this without water initially. So step one with the cleansing balm, we're going to take a small bit on our hands. Tonight, I'll be doing this myself, and I'll be massaging my hands to warm it in an emulsion in my hand, and then I will be gently massaging it around. And someone's saying a tiny bit. Absolutely. I do get a little bit carried away with the cleansing balm when I'm rubbing it over my eyes and hands. I really love a beautiful oil cleanser, and I can because I border on dry, but it is phenomenal. So the trick with this is to start emulsifying it without water, to move the makeup with the oil initially first, to allow the Litsea and the petitgrain and the lime and all of those oils to help deep cleanse. Then we want to grab some water on our hands and then start to emulsify it a bit more until it makes like a foaming, like a gentle cleaning action, and it's like an oil cleanser. And that's when the absorbic acid and the vitamin C will then help and jump in to lighten and brighten the skin. And then I loved this, being that this one's an oil-based product, I use my beautiful Enyo little mitts or circles, or you can use like a wipe, and then you can do that. If it's in the shower, then you can then just rinse it off. But just note you'll have a light oilier residue, but do not worry, because the beeswax and the sunflower seeds are non-comedogenic, so it's not going to block the pores, and it's designed for you then to use the next cleanser to then give your skin a second buff and cleanse.
Excuse me, Tash. Someone's just asking, with number one, even if you don't use makeup, I mean, to maybe speak into what it's designed to lift out of the skin, because it's not just a makeup, right?
Exactly, yes. So it's designed to remove it's designed to deep cleanse. So the impurities, if you have, like we're talking across a broad spectrum here of different skin types. You know, if you are a mature skin but you work outside and you like gardening, you're going to be deep cleansing your skin. If you are on holiday, it might be that you're getting some sunscreen, but ultimately it's working in your skin to help remove some of the deeper impurities and blackheads and dirt and grime, and even just the dull skin. So the dead skin and the debris as well. Does that answer that question, Ness?
Yep, looks like it. Great.
Well, I actually just want to delve in. So the vitamin C helps with that cellular turnover. So it will actually help with that, with using the water. But most of us will actually lean in and then start to use step two, which is got the face wash, which equally has the petitgrain and Litsea in it, and it has the vitamin C. So you're going to get the double whammy of that. But the Lucia essential oil is also known as Mei Chang, and it's a citrusy lemon-scented fruit, right? But what people don't understand is how powerful it is for that oily, congested, dull, even if you've got acne, whether that's adult acne, mature age acne, or younger acne, it all helps to wash that out. So some of them even help with some of the bacterias. So the Lucia, for example, definitely helps with some of the P. acnes and some of those bacterias that you can get on your skin as well. It can also, with the essential oils, they have astringent properties, so they can help tighten the pores and give you a nice, beautiful, clarified look, especially around those oily T-zones and the pores. And so we've already spoken about that it can help with the cellular turnover, but the other thing to consider is that it can also really help with an anti-inflammatory response on the skin. So if you don't wear makeup, don't worry, because it's got so many other modes of actions. And with the fragrance, then you're leaning into this beautiful self-care ritual that's really uplifting and cleansing as well. So any more questions on the step one?
No more questions. Just, yeah, going to step 2, because I know this one can overactivate some people.
I just want to go back slightly. You can just use step 1. If for some people they're having issues with step 2, which we will clarify and clean up today, just so you know, you can just use the step 1, but you've got to ensure that you're cleaning it off really well with some Enyo wipes or some face towel. But it is designed as the synergy to then come into the second cleanse, even if you don't wear makeup or sunscreen. All right.
Great. Thank you.
So the key ingredients in step 2 are similar to step 1, except this one is not an oil-based or a waxy finish. This one uses the coconut-derived cleansers with lauric acid, and then it makes this beautiful foaming cleanser, and you need the tiniest amount. I think the first time I used it, I was like, whoa, and I could wash my whole body like I was floating in it. It's delicious. It is like this beautiful foaming rich gorgeousness. It just foams up so well with water. So this one is definitely use water to emulsify. When you do that, you instantly kickstart the vitamin C that's going to break down, and it's going to really help with that cellular turnover. And so then what we're suggesting with that is that it is a not rough, so not mechanical exfoliant. So both of those are when you do that, when you're using it like that. This is super great for giving a really good finish with the hyaluronic acid that's added, and then the base of jojoba as well, and glycerin. So these are really hydrating and nourishing and give that beautiful feel to it, the velvety feel, but also then leave the skin not too dry and irritated. Now, the feedback which Vanessa is talking about is about how this one can be a bit active and also can leave a tingling sensation on the skin. And so we're going to speak to that today. So I actually do have to personally manage rosacea on my face. And this one I was like, oh, I'm not sure about this one, Ness. I think this one might be a little bit strong for me. And so I had to do some deep research into it also for my skin as well. The trick is, 1, not to use too much. The second bit, which is he does mention, is that you can use a tiny bit of the oil, and then it actually gives it more of an oil base. So it encapsulates it more as an oil base, and then it's not so abrasive and not so strong. It is not, just to be clear, the humic shale or any of the active ingredients, because how he's prepared them is very gentle and prepares the skin for optimum results, for hydration and refreshing clean without stripping the skin. What you're experiencing is simply from the active essential oils. So they're high in citric sort of formula, which Vanessa can speak to as an aromatherapist, and they can feel quite strong and tingling. And so there's also a bit of this where your skin needs to become fit enough to actually use this product. Because if you've just been using water, or if you've just been using soap, you can't just all of a sudden just dive deep in and start using these heavy duty things. It's like going to the gym and all of a sudden you're going to start running 20 minutes on a treadmill. It just isn't going to happen, and the skin is the same. So you have to ease your skin in. So whether that looks like only starting with the oil-based phase step 1 and then using this one, you know, every second day at night, or whether you and easing your skin into it, it's up to you. How I prefer to do this one is I only use this one at nighttime. So after my day, after I've been outside, after I've exercised, after I've been in the clinic all day, or if I've had any sweating, it gently purifies and rebalances my skin. And so I'm only using it in the evening. And, you know, we don't want to be over cleansing anyway. So, yeah.
Ash,
Yes.
there's a question here, sweetheart, on vitamin A. I don't know how to answer it, from Sophie. I'd love to know why we don't have a vitamin A in the range. I'm late to the party learning about this and have had to buy another separate product. Did I need to? So I guess she's saying, is there enough in this to give her whatever it is vitamin A is going to give her face, or does she still need that? Do you need to find out why she needs vitamin A, or I don't know?
So I know why she needs vitamin A. So I'm a skin therapist and I really love different forms of vitamin A, and I study all the different types and how they're delivered into the skin and to the cells, and then what they ultimately do. So this range does have vitamin A. It's just not written vitamin A, and certain ingredients in it actually act like vitamin A or have vitamin A as part of their derivatives. So I'll go into that in some of the serums and in some of the lotions as we move through. Do you need a vitamin A? Now this is a sensitive subject because I have this, you know, discussion all the time with my clients and also just, you know, with myself. When you think about what vitamin A is designed to do, it actually acts like the CEO of the cells. And so it says, right, you're not functioning correctly. How am I going to make you function in the right way? And then it organizes all the cells and everyone to do as they're told, and everyone to function, you know, back like when they were 20 and everything was fine. And what I love about the use of frankincense in this range is frankincense is amazing. And if you think about what frankincense does, it brings the cells back into homeostasis, back into full health. So ultimately he comes in similar to vitamin A and says, this is how the cells are meant to function. This is how the body's meant to be healthy. So this is what it looks like. So this is an interesting conversation with the vitamin A. I will talk about it when we get into the later serums, but this is a complete package, and no, you don't need additional vitamin A or any actives for that reason. So we've moved on. Is that okay to keep moving, Ness?
Yes, of course. Smooth and Rich lotion. Let's do it. Seems to be a lot of people's favorite.
Well, I really, really, really love it. And I love that from the key ingredient, it starts with niacinamide. So I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with niacinamide. It's one of those things that you might hear in the beauty industry where we go, okay, if you're going into a skincare clinic or you're hearing all the hype online or TikTok, you use vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin A, and you have to have a hyaluronic. Do you know that, those kind of things? And so I love that it starts with niacinamide, because this is one of those ones it's sort of like we put it under the category that maybe it'll help with just acne kind of clients or balance oil and oil flow, and that's not the truth. So this one here, I love this, and I came up with an amazing bit of research for this call today, and I just want to touch on it a little bit before I actually get into the ingredients of all of this. And it speaks to the fact that the Japanese actually use essences and versus toners. So I don't know if any of you are using any Japanese products, but they use what they call an essence, and they go for a lot of money. It's very popular in Japan rather than using just like a toning lotion. So there's a couple of things with this rich lotion that to consider is it a toner? Or is it actually like a serum? Because we know that the step 4 we pat on and it's a serum, but this one's a lotion. And so I just wanted to drop into this and speak to this because it might be one of the questions that you have, you know, later on for yourself. But ultimately it is to deeply hydrate and tone, and then prepare the skin after you have just done that beautiful deep cleansing and cellular proliferation and detoxifying cleanses that you've just done on the skin. So I just want to talk to you about, traditionally we would use a toner, and that was designed to balance the pH after cleansing. And it also was designed to be like a second cleanse to remove those residual impurities and get rid of the oil ultimately from the cleanser. The Japanese prefer to use an essence, which is slightly lighter. It's lighter than a serum, but more inclusive than just a toner, which was made like of, you know, alcohol base or witch hazels and those kind of things. And that's what this is superbly designed to do. So its main role is to hydrate and deliver active ingredients. However, it does enhance and clarify the skin and ultimately tone the skin, but it's got the active ingredients of the niacinamide and the hyaluronic acids, and it's super hydrating for the skin. So I hope that's really clear, just in your understanding what it's for.
Natasha, we have Lisa asking, is this why step 3 leaves the skin a little almost tacky as it settles into the skin? So
Yeah.
she's trying to find a word to explain that feeling on the skin.
Yeah, so you could, which I wouldn't want to, get a cold pad and actually gently, you know, use it like a toner. But what we find is then the pad gets, or the wet pad then takes half the product and you're going to lose it, right? So we're going to use it with our fingers, and absolutely it leaves a little tacky feel, and that's because it's not meant to be one of the last products. It's actually designed just to prepare the skin but ultimately hydrate it. And so it's got some glycerin, which would sit slightly on the skin, but it's got the hyaluronic as well that's going to plump.
So can we stop screen share? And Natasha, can you show us how to press this in the skin so everyone can see, please? Like, people say pat it in the skin, and what does that mean? How does that look? And for how long do we do that? And do we need to stimulate lymphatic system? And there's all this stuff that can often confuse us. Like, what is patting? What does that look like? How many pats? How hard? How soft?
The essences or the lotion that the Japanese do, they're going to put a couple of drops on the hand and then they're going to lightly pat. But by lightly, you can also start to firmly pat in. And then they also do a layering effect. So you can use this 2 to 3 times to give a layering effect of the hyaluronic and the niacinamide, which is deeply hydrating, and I'll go into that in a moment as well, to definitely help with your skin. So you can start to activate the lymphatic system if you like. I mean, we're going to start down here, and for those of you who've been watching some of the TikToks at the moment with all the gouacheing and the cupping and stuff, I definitely, you know, do that if you'd like. And that's starting down here on these lymphatic systems here, and that's a whole nother class we could do, Ness. We could actually jump on and do this together. But for this one, you just could activate that. But then with the lotion that you're pouring, you're just going to, I would say firmly, I say gently, but it's actually firm, and you can activate your skin. And you want to think about, where do I want the hydration? Where do I want the lotion to go to close the pores? So definitely focus on your T-zone, over your face, and you're just firmly patting this in. And like I said, you can do it up to 2 to 3 times as a layering effect. It's great for volume.
Sorry?
It's great for volume. So it's because of the ingredients in it, it's great for adding the hydrating volume to the skin.
Great. So so Jess is doing the same thing. Is this a patting one or a splashing on?
No,
right.
definitely a patting. Definitely.
So it's gentle but firm, folks. Can you see that? She's not smacking her face.
No.
She's like gently putting it on but sinking it in. That's that little bit of firmness.
So the skin's like a sponge. So if you're pushing on it, it's going to help it like sponge back, bounce back. So you want to get it onto the skin and going in the skin. If you're just going to layer it in, then you're going to give the environmental effects time to absorb it, you know, evaporate off. You want to be pushing it in. Yeah. You want to be pushing it into the skin. Now, I just want to quickly jump in to tell you why niacinamide, why you might want to push this into your skin, because this is some of the great, you know, facts about this, but the niacinamide sits at the top of one of the key ingredients there. And so it's also known as vitamin B3, and it's a water-soluble vitamin. and it can actually work in all of the different levels of the skin. So this is why the patting is so important, to get it down deep into the deeper layers of the skin, not just sitting superficially. There's different types of niacinamides and vitamin B3, but most of the time they're used because they're so non-irritating and they really work within the cell. So what a lot of people don't know, and there's lots of talk about the NADs or the NAD pluses. I don't know if you know that, NAD plus. Well, this is the niacinamides that actually sit deep in the products. So niacinamide is a precursor to NADs, and it's a coenzyme involved in that energy production and DNA repair. So that is so important for our skin, to help with that cellular repair, especially for sun-damaged or aged skin. And it is even great for if you've got any scarring, acne scarring, it's great for that. It also helps the production of ceramides. It helps with the fatty acids in the skin and balancing out that oil flow that we were talking about. And so ultimately it helps with the barrier and helping you with that transepidermal water loss and losing that water. So it helps lock the water into the skin. So it's really good for helping us against the environmental threats moving on. So that is also why you get that little dewy effect left on the skin.
Amazing, Tash. My gosh, this is so good.
It's really good also because niacinamide it's one of those really unsung heroes. It helps with like make your pores look smaller so that your skin looks clearer. It helps brighten and even the skin tone. It helps strengthen that resistance in the skin. And I just want to throw in here, just because we're doing a skin education class, that myrrh is one of my other ones I love to use. We're talking about vitamin A and frankincense, and niacinamide works very similar to myrrh in the skin. So this afternoon, even in my moisturizer, put a drop of myrrh in, and that works also to help with that cellular strengthening of the cells, the skin resilience, the immune function, especially if you've got things like rosacea or a weakened skin type. You can feel free to add little things like that in. But ultimately, it also helps with collagen support and softens the appearance of wrinkles and roughness, but it was going to stop them even forming because of how strengthening the niacinamide is in the skin. And then it ultimately protects from that oxidative stress.
Perfect. Apparently, okay, what have we got here? Nope, I can't say that out loud here. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we're speaking into skin food here and hydration. And remember that doTERRA also has, so we've got the MetaPower Advantage with the 9 collagen tripeptides, okay, of which is working deeply with educating that whole metabolic system. The MetaPower system is educating us on working with metabolism from the age of 40. We're noticing a big decline in collagen production, so that's supporting it. So between MetaPower Advantage, MetaPower Recharge, cellular hydration, and this skincare, you all are covered. And I know a lot of us still love like the Yarrow Pom, Blue Tansy, and the Solubel / Immortelle. Tash will cover that. But speaking into myrrh, that's why doTERRA did a myrrh touch. So you can layer whenever you want to. Yeah, even on the tops of your hands, that with the Solubel to prevent that discoloration there and the aging spots. Okay, would you like the next slide up now, Natasha? Yep, Sam's on it.
Oh, I just got excited, and I want to speak to 2 of those things. But
yes,
first thing is, whenever we're doing skincare, we layer from lightest to heaviest. So I know I jumped in on that myrrh conversation, but just remember, myrrh's thick and it's that resiny kind of feel. And if it's going to be used in a touch, it's an oilier base. So we're going to use these serums first, not to confuse you, and then we'll put some myrrh on after within the moisturizer at the end. So we always use lightest to heaviest. So I'll share with that later for you. But I was just saying that niacinamide and myrrh kind of mimic similar ways they work in the skin. The second thing is, if you all have not tried that recharge, oh my goodness. I get home after going a nice big walk or doing some exercise, and I have the collagen sachet, of course, because we've got to have it on an empty stomach. And then, of course, before the foods. But today I grabbed the Recharge and put it in my water and was sipping on it. And oh my gosh, because at this kind of age where I am, nearing 50, you want to be making sure you're hydrated. So we've got the hyaluronic acid and all the skincare, but you've got to glow from within. And I could just feel everything happening with all those key minerals and the, hydration. Love it. So definitely get that one happening as well with this whole system. All right. We're moving to step 4. Is this okay for everyone?
Yes, keep going, because people have got questions about like where yarrow pom and the other oils fit in. But
okay,
let's insert that when you're ready to put that in around the moisturizer time. So let's just go to the Smooth and Rich serum, please.
Okay. So I want to speak about this one in a different way. So this is definitely different to the lotion. This one has hyaluronic, which a lot of us use as a hyaluronic serum. Hyaluronic holds 1,000 times its weight in fluid. So whether that's coming from inside your body, from inside the skin, or it's actually pulling it from outside in the air, it's amazing. Hyaluronic is fantastic for that. Then it's got the zinc and the copper gluconates in there. I'll touch on those in a moment. But I want to speak to the glucolactane, which is in this, because some of the big words, everyone's like, what is that product with the PHA next to it there? This one here is a gentler cousin to AHAs. So it acts like kind of like glycolic or lactic acid, which also sound a bit powerful and strenuous, but ultimately it's a cellular resurfacer. So it's also going to help with removing those dead skin cells. It's going to help brighten and lighten and smooth the complexion. Mixed with the niacinamides and this one together, they also help with that pigmentation, like sun damage. They help block the melanocytes in the cells and so inhibit them from coming out as well. So it's really good for even the most sensitive skins, but definitely for sun-aged and the dull, devitalized, sun-damaged skin. What else is amazing in this one? Of course, it's got the humic shale in it. Frankincense. Now, we just spoke about why frankincense is so amazing, and then it's also got your vitamin C to lighten and brighten the skin and help with that cellular turnover. So this one, I think we've covered a lot of the ingredients, but I think about how to use it would be more effective for everyone. So this one definitely acts like a serum. Interestingly enough, we were talking, you have to emulsify it. So this one has to be shaken up and you don't need a lot of it, and it's going to help give back to the skin. So the other one acts like a toner. This one acts as a serum. It also has another pink. It has the pink color, and vitamin B12. Funny enough, people use this in acneic sort of skin types and helps with clearing and clarifying the skin. But what a lot of people don't know is that it's also phenomenal for all types of skin, just helping soothe that redness, any irritation on the skin, and just calming everything down.
Okay, so just to respond to a question here. So this is all you're doing. You're just agitating it, and you'll see that after not much agitation, the two are mixing, because the white is the oil layer and the pink is the water layer. So you know water and oil don't mix. So this is how we're emulsifying it, what she's talking about. We're bringing them together as one, and it will separate again once it settles. So as you mix them, you're activating them. Now, there was a question here. Is PHA a natural exfoliator in this?
Yes. Yes. So it's a gentler. It's a gentler, and they say cousin because it's sort of far out. It's not like a sister. It's not the same, but it definitely helps with holding fluid in the skin, but also helping cellular turnover. Yeah, absolutely.
It's really interesting because Eugene speaks into the bonding aspect of this beautiful skincare, and some of the Japanese families he was sharing, the children come up and they actually, you know, stand by their parents and they shake this up and hand it over. So it's like what he wanted to do is engage all of the senses and bring this into a deeper bonding experience as well. So you can see Jess Bell wrote, I heard it's very important to also dance and sing a little while you shake. You know, it's true. You want to have fun with this. Joy is actually another sense that he's wanting to awaken with this. So as you're using these, be inhaling the essential oils. I'm going to speak into the essential oils soon, but how they're a perfect choice of essential oils with top, middle, and base notes and create a beautiful synergy on your face so you don't smell like, you know, someone's walking past you and they feel like you smell like DJs or Myers, you know, a mishmash of scents. You're actually going to be like a walking, talking, sacred, pure fume channel because of that gorgeous balance of synergies. Okay, go for it, Tash.
Yeah, so they smell phenomenal, but they're so powerfully active on the skin as well. And this is the duality of it. So it's phenomenal.
Oh, Tash, sorry, there is a question. It's actually a really good one. I'd love to know more about the role of exfoliation in general with using Ikise. Would we still need to exfoliate in addition?
So that's such a fantastic question. So I noticed actually when I was researching all the ingredients with it is that it doesn't actually have a mechanical exfoliation as part of it. And so the answer is that he's actually putting in the ingredients that have that cellular proliferation going on its own. So with the vitamin C and the vitamin C and some of those other like the PHA active ingredients in it, then there's no need. And then also with the deep cleansing, so there would be no need to have an active exfoliant, a mechanical one.
Yeah, the way he explained it was similar to what Tash just said then. It's just offering a very gentle exfoliation. This is about re-educating the skin to moisturize itself, to come back to its own natural state. So as we hydrate it, just like when we take our Metapower Recharge, we're hydrating at a cellular level. Maybe Tash, you can speak to how this is hydrating the different dermal layers. I don't know the languaging, not just the surface layer. Would you mind just speaking into that to explain hydration and how we feel plumper and juicier and radiant?
Well, these ingredients that he has carefully picked, I think what we said was it was actually a dual layer, like it actually is designed to go deeply down. And that starts from the third step right through to the fourth and fifth, and even the oil at the end, if you choose to use it at the end. And they're designed to go deeply in. And the humic shale has one of those, it assists it going deeper into the skin. It is actually like a delivery system, like a little elevator that's going to deeply carry it down into the deeper layers. The thing with exfoliation is I think that we can overstimulate the skin. We over exfoliate and overstimulate the skin. Does our skin slow down? Yeah, it absolutely does stop sloughing off those dead skin cells. But if you're using some great cleaning products with deep cleaning agents that have got the natural exfoliation processes in them, you know, with some beautiful wipes or Enyo wipes that I was talking about, or little circles that you can cleanse with. This is enough really for your skin. You don't want to be over exacerbating. I always talk to my clients about having a holistic approach to beauty. It's like almost just keeping your skin the best that it could be and the healthiest it can be. And I just don't see any point in having some little rough nodules stripping away at the top layer of my pH, because this skin, it's not just skin. This is our major organ that's protecting our whole body. Like we actually, why would we scratch it up and actually cause more abrasive, you know, damage to it? So if we can actually have things like enzymes, which are some of the products in this, to gently break away at the cells, help with that gentle sloughing off with that stuff naturally, then we ultimately want to be thickening the skin. My skin is certainly now, if I look at my skin when I was 20, definitely a lot more fuller and plumper. That's got something to do with, we used to use water-based products back in the day, something how that went popular. And the reality of this, is the skin is waterproof. Like, I don't know why we would be using water-based products. So this is, you know, this is some of these things that we're speaking about today. It's like, okay, is the delivery system good? Is it going to work with our skin? You know, and I think ultimately we want that natural cellular turnover.
Yeah, And, Jess is just in chat with me in conversation. She's helping me to moderate the chat here. And, Jess has a holistic background. Nursing is part of it, but very holistic background. And she said that, as our skin is re-educated to look after itself, to nourish itself, right? Your skin is brought back to its optimal cellular turnover, and then your dead skin will exfoliate itself in the way it's meant to, which is what he was speaking into. So I'm looking at my notes here. Leonie was with me on this day, but he said the skin is renewed every day. However, for unknown reasons, the skin can stay on without coming off, which is what Tash was just speaking into. So what this is doing is it's gently removing that old layer. So again, we're re-educating the skin. We're reminding it and rewiring, on how it can look after itself.
And that was so beautifully articulated, Jo. And the thing to speak to with speaking to this is that in my industry and in my clinic, we cause micro injury to the skin in a natural way, whether that's skin needling or whatever, if we're doing anti-aging things. And this is a whole nother thing. But what we're doing is we're causing a micro injury. Equally, we can injure the skin by using harsh products and chemicals and all sorts. And then, of course, you're going to need more exfoliation. People are going to come to me and say, I'm dry, I'm flaking, and so then that causes more dead cells, because the body is amazing at healing itself. It is a great defense. And so it will actually produce more skin cells that need exfoliating off because they're damaged ultimately. But when we're actually feeding and nourishing and giving our skin everything that it's designed to do, and it's working in a beautiful order with natural products, like our body performs better eating cleaner, then we don't need to exfoliate as much. Yeah. So the body works in harmony, which is absolutely what Jess said is perfection.
Totally. And also Damien's just saying here, I heard Ikise works with gua sha and you've mentioned cups as well, Natasha. However, it may be worth just trying it for 6 months and seeing if you need additional things. So what would you say to that? And if someone really wanted to keep going with their beautiful gua sha that maybe they're used to doing all the time, or the skin cupping, which I've never done it. I don't know. I've seen you do it. But what would you say to that? Would you say just give it time just with the skincare, Natasha? Or do we, please inform us.
So, okay. So the reality of it is we're going to be working in different depths of it. So for skin condition, topically, and then the skin as a whole, but ultimately the look and view of it, then the skin care is going to be able to activate that. Now, whether you gua sha or whether you massage firmly with your own hands, it's all going to be extra additional massage. But we're talking then about the lymphatic flow, and the lymphatic system and the lymphatic flow varies on whether it's a whole body system, right? So then I get a bit indecisive about that. Me today personally, so if you don't want to be using any Botox or any fillers or anything like that, then for me personally, when I'm looking a bit dehydrated, if I'm a bit from being in the heating or from the air conditioning, so today then I would go, okay, I'm looking a bit dry, or I'm feeling a bit, so then the suction cups can just bring great circulation up to the skin. And so I love to use, for that energy, for the drainage, the pockets that we wake up as we get older and we get sluggish. So this is a whole body system thing when you're talking about gua shaing and cupping, as opposed to just a skincare system. Does that simplify it? I'm still going to use my cupping and gua shaing. I like to use the muscles in the skin. I like to drain the lymphatic system and the sluggishness of that. And then I love the effects of the topical and the thickness and the sponge that the good skincare is giving me.
Yeah, that's great, honey. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
There's a question saying, what about skin needling?
So skin needling is different, and different therapists use different things. And there's lots of different kinds of skin needling. You can start at home by doing some micro needling with like a 0.1, 0.2, 0.25 of a millimeter, and you're doing micro injury. I would go hesitant in how much you do of that initially when you're always starting a new skincare range, especially one as active as this. So I say active as in it's fantastic that it's active, but it is definitely like meant to detox, support, bring our skin back to homeostasis. skin needling then is going to cause a micro injury, and then your body's going to be forced to do too much. And anything too much, even if you were to go for a marathon run, after not running, you're going to hurt and hurt yourself. The same will happen with the skin. So I would suggest, if you want good skin health, start by using a more active skincare range, ease that in, and then if you need more, then add skin needling in, because you don't want to over exacerbate the skin.
Tash, another question. I've got no idea. I heard overnight your skin forms a special mantle, so it's best not to cleanse in the morning. Is this true? I'm hearing that lately as well, but I'd never heard it before. What do you say to that?
So I speak to that as an individual thing. If you are having hot sweats in the night, then you may want to have a light cleanse in the morning. If you are a man who has excess oil and sweats in the night, you might want to cleanse in the morning. If you're an acneic teenager with over exacerbated, sebaceous glands, you're going to want to cleanse in the morning, but not overstimulate, and they're very different things. So, for an average woman who's, I don't know, middle-aged and sleeps soundly and doesn't move all night, does she need to cleanse at night and in the morning? No. Just using some nice little Eno wipes or some water in the morning is fine. And then you would start with step 3 and then put that on and add the lotion in for the hydration, and then 4. But if you are a shower at night and shower in the morning, then you can equally cleanse both. I prefer to use a nighttime and a morning routine. Mine is slightly different, and I use different ingredients at different times. So I'm active, so I do cleanse morning and night. Do you need to? It's individual. Yeah.
And I think you were saying, Tash, anyway, you use step 2 cleanser mostly for night for you. Is that right? With the rosacea and that kind of stuff, just so people can understand. So are you just using step 1 in the morning and just using step 2 at night, or both?
Yes, so I'm just using at the moment the step 1, which is the oil-based cleanser in the morning, and then I use my wipes, and then I feed the skin, and I'm putting on the the lotion, and then I put on the serum, and then I'm using my blue tansy with my myrrh in my moisturizer, and then I'm cupping.
Right.
Then at night time, then I'm going to use the double cleanse, and then I'm going to use the extra thing.
So double cleanse at night. So use step 1 and step 2. Got you. And then at night you would still continue. So even if you just did at either end, if someone was just doing one, you'd still complete the rest of the steps. Yeah, you'd still do the lotion and the serum and the moisturizer, and we'll talk about when the oil comes in and stuff as well. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose where I can answer with that is, if you're using step 1 and 2, you definitely want to be using 3. Now, if you want to ease in, and if for some reason you're having some tingling sensations or some irritations with step 2 of the cleanser, add a bit of oil to it to make that more of an oil molecule, to take the essential oil to slower delivery.
Add the booster, you guys. That's what Eugene was teaching us about that. So the oil she's talking about is the booster. So a tiny drop of the booster, or 2 to the cleanser, which is what I've done before. And it is, my gosh, talk about face-gasm. It feels so lush. It's sumptuous.
And I even put it on before I put my little bit of foundation on, and it's just divine. I put my moisturizer and cleansed earlier, and then just right before I was getting ready for the class, I grabbed a drop of the dew and just put it on, and then I just did a little bit of cupping, and then I put my makeup on, and it's just phenomenal. It's so good. It's got key carrier oils with such phenomenal ingredients, and linoleic, all the good stuff, 369s and all the good stuff. Yeah.
Great. Okay, let's jump into the step 4 we're up to now, the moisturizer. Let's do that, Sam. Beverly, I've seen your question. You can see my response, but Tash will speak into Yarrowpom, and I definitely will as well if needed. But that's blasphemy. Yarrowpom will never be obsolete, my darling. Okay.
Fight them.
Sorry, not step 4, step 5, the moisturizer. Yep, that's it. Day and night face cream. Let's go.
So step 5 is phenomenal day and night cream. What I love about this cream is it's designed for all ages. I just want to say that straight off the bump. Like, it's like not too heavy, not too light, for all skin types. For the drier skins, we have the booster, and for the younger skins, they can actually just use less. Okay, so it has glycerin and squalene, and it's got meadow seed oil. It's got the beeswax in it. So these are all beautiful oil-based, waxy, beautiful fatty acids, essentially. All of those are going to help with helping reduce that epidermal water loss, and so keeping the water and the hydration deep into the skin. A lot of people don't recognize how important actually the hyaluronic and the water level is in the skin, as opposed to just the oil in the skin, and they both are as important for good skin condition. And so locking that in is super important. It also is really good for smoothing any roughness, great for soothing any inflammation, and it's just a great all-round barrier defense for the skin.
And something he was talking about with this also, for those that weren't at convention, was he said that this is about hydration, enhancing the skin barrier to protect the eye zone, for instance, because that eye zone is very delicate. So this cream first is creating this penetration and adhesion. So by the time you get to, Tash will speak to it, but like the eye cream, for example, the combination of those two is locking that hydration in without damaging that very sensitive area. So if you can imagine, all of these layers are finding ways to penetrate the dermal layers, but creating adhesion. It's a penetration and adhesion formula, this day and night cream. And he said it's very rare to find one that gives both. So the key words here when you're teaching this is penetration and adhesion, which is what Tash was speaking into as she was speaking about some of those products.
And then it's got a really beautiful ingredient called buntan. And I just noticed, was it Tracy?
Oh, buntan.
Buntan. So
yeah.
and it's from the Japanese, and it's also known as pomelo, which is sometimes known as shadow, which is a citrus fruit. Now, you'd probably know about this, do you, Vanessa?
It's grapefruit. Yeah.
And ultimately, it's an ancestor of grapefruit. So just in case any of you wanted to know that, I was going, oh, this is interesting. And so then that makes it amazing, naturally rich vitamin C, antioxidant, and great for the skin tone, but also makes it smell just beautiful. But I love that he actually used the Japanese version just to really complete the range.
Yeah, it's very gentle. Yeah.
It's commonly used in a lot of their skincare products over in Japan for their brightening and clarifying, but also just because it's so uplifting, the smell. So it's beautiful.
And just as an aside, you guys, I mean, it's not photosensitive. That's right, Jess. As an aside, when Shinrin Yoku was first created in Japan, it was called Morinoto. And it actually has this buntan essential oil in it. To produce it globally with that, it's not sustainable, which I love doTERRA's way of adhering to their belief they're not to over harvest anything. So I think this is a beautiful way to bring it in at this micro level into our lives, because it's not photosensitive, just like green mandarin isn't and wild orange isn't. So it's safe to go onto the skin and to do what it needs. So yes.
Yeah, so it has a similar benefits, but without being sun sensitive, which is fantastic. And then add the copaiba in, and then this one acts like, well, we think about how that works in our body and on our body as a muscle relaxant and to downgrade inflammation and pain response in the body. Well, imagine what that would look like on your skin. So for clients who have like rosacea or acne or any redness and things like that. But I've even up to this point, prior to this, been using in the pore reducing toner. I add a lot of copaiba into that toner because I love it's almost like a primer for the skin. So I love that this is included in this day and night cream.
Are you saying you add copaiba in this skincare range, or you used to add it to your toner? Sorry.
I used to add it to the pore
You
reducer
used to.
toner.
Oh, got you.
And I love it for that because it's almost like a primer for your skin. It actually just closes all the pores, calms all the redness. Like it just is phenomenal for the skin. But I love that it's in this moisturizer. Yeah,
Right.
this cream. And
Beautiful.
again, it's got all of the same other ingredients of the niacinamide and everything we've covered. So yeah. And now
Right.
the eye cream coming up at the end.
Yes.
I mean, there's so much to say about this. We spoke about all of the beautiful ingredients that they're going to hydrate and nourish, but not be oily and have this residue. And the thing with eye cream you have to be careful about is if you're using too heavier oils, it end up making you really puffy around the eyes. But this is done perfect with how they've actually perfected the heaviness of it. I love that they've used arnica. Arnica is phenomenal for dark circles, for bruising, for any for downgrading any redness, swelling. It's so beautiful to use in for the eyes for that puffiness as well. And then to add rose essential oil, well, we all know what rose is like for the skin. It's a powerful beautifier, and it's definitely, yeah, and it also does smell really good. So can you put it on the lids of your eyes? So just remember that the eye area is very delicate. And they used to say that it's a different kind of skin, but it's not. But it is a thinner. It's a little bit thinner. So you just want to be dabbing it under here. Again, we're pushing. So it says tapping, but we're pushing it down so it goes down.
1 sec, Tash. 1 sec, Sam. Can you stop screen sharing just so everyone can see Natasha demonstrating this, please? I want you all to just see Natasha. This is really important because you need to use your weakest fingers like your pinky or your ring finger. So can you demonstrate again? I'm just going to spotlight you so everyone sees you.
Yeah, so I just tend to use like one of the other fingers, and you want to be just pushing it the tiniest amount, and you want to be using it across the occipital bone, and then you want to be like what we just spoke about, just pushing it in and just gently dabbing. And then going back to what the other person was just saying is then you just want to use the excess just across the top of the eye. I tend to also use a little bit around this lip area there and on the top of your lip, because I just love to always add a little bit of extra support around that area. And I think it's going to be helping my eyes. It's definitely going to be helping that sensitive area around the top lip as well.
And just as an extra one, I do it around the 11s as well, Tash, and, just gently over the forehead. Can you show them how to do that as well, honey?
When she's talking about the 11s, she's talking about the lines that come in between when you're frowning, or if, in Chinese medicine, it's almost like the liver area there. So we're going to be pushing through here. But equally, what you can do is actually you want to be, almost dragging up, but you can put the excess across your lines if that's where you struggle. A lot of people who just have that lack of water in their bodies have the lines on the top of their forehead. And so just adding that extra moisture lock helps with that dehydration or that epidermal water loss.
Great. So sorry, the questions come up again about eyelids. So are you saying just whatever excess is on your face, you just gently dab that on, right?
Just
show them how to do that so that they're not pulling their eyes.
Yeah, so people say don't go inwards, but I'm not going to stretch my eyes. So I do tend to start here because I just love the pressure points that are just sitting around this part of the eye. And then you're just going to gently go on top of the occipital bone around, and then you can gently wipe back in with the cream, and then just any excess across the lid. And then Vanessa then said that she pulls it up here and then across those lines there. So it's just this is gentle across the top of the lid. The lid is a more thinner skin and it is more gentle. So yeah, not so much pressure is required.
Great. Thanks, Natasha. I think that's everything.
Okay. The Zoom is absolutely loving the power in my laptop. Are you able to speak about some of the essential oils for a moment just while I go get my charger?
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe stop screen sharing for a minute, Sam.
Thanks.
That's okay, honey. Okay. So, oops. Cancel that. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what I'm doing. Sorry. Okay, so we have essential oils in here that are all serving a different purpose. And if you remember, I was talking about how they work with, all of the different layers of the skin. So frankincense, for instance, is in there for he has such a complex chemistry. It's simple, but it's complex in how much it does. I'm trying to unpin Tash, but I don't know how, Jess. Sorry. Maybe if you do it, Sam, if you can unpin Tash. It's not letting me do it. We've lost your picture. Okay. Sam, help. So, okay, I'm just going to keep speaking and that's fine. Hopefully we can clear it. So frankincense is here for firm and healthy skin. Let me just go back to the beginning. So for the cleansing balm, you have essential oils that are working with the balm to moisturize the skin. So we're delicately working with moisturizing. And then you have oils that are cleansing and clearing and clarifying the skin. In come citruses. And remember, Litsea, it's not a citrus, it's a berry, right? So you've got this dual action then of how it's working with the skin to help reverse aging and nourish, moisturize, and support the locking in of moisture at all levels. You also have essential oils that are working with each other to bring you greater joy, to uplift the mood, to work with your mental health, right? Because doTERRA being doTERRA, they look at the full picture. So what I'll do is I'm going to get Sam to create a graphic and send this out to you if you like. But I want you to just imagine a triangle, and that triangle is broken up into 3 parts. Top triangles for top notes, then middle notes, base notes, also known as head, heart, and soul notes, let's call it, those base notes, right? So the top notes in these formulations are comprised of Litsea, lime, buntan, and petitgrain. So Litsea is a berry. The lime and buntan come from the zest of the fruit, and petitgrain comes from the leaves and the twigs of the bitter orange tree, which is where neroli comes from, the flowers, right, from the orange blossom, and then the bitter orange essential oil. Our wild orange is sweet orange, so it's not the same. Then the base notes, in come the song of the hearts, geranium and rose. While the citruses are uplifting you and helping to stoke that inner fire to give you momentum to move forward, because remember, they're activating. They have this dual cleansing and activating effect on the face. If we look at subtle aromatherapy, it's activating you energetically to help you get out of lethargy or mental lethargy, emotional lethargy, right? Then we have geranium rose coming in, opening the heart, soothing the spirit, bringing you into deeper devotion for the ultimate one that we love, whatever it is that you call that higher presence, higher intelligence. It sets the wings of your heart to opening, unfurling, right? Geranium and rose are outstanding skincare. Their chemistry, they're made up of what we call the alcohols, right? They're gently working with the skin, but they also work with helping the body. The body, if you imagine, synergizes with the essential oils, right? They come into sync with each other. So these 2 essential oils are about moisturizing. Interestingly, I know a lot of people turn to things like tea tree and lavender, let's say, for overactive sebum, i.e. oily skin. The reason is because they have a drying effect. When you're working with geranium and rose and the resins, such as myrrh, frankincense, and copaiba, they're helping to restore the body, to help heal it from any wounds. That's what the resins are renowned for. Reducing scar tissue, all of them will work with that as well. And the geranium and rose are moisturizing and nourishing rather than drying. So they're going to work with helping to create homeostasis in your skin, right? So you don't have this continual overproduction of oil in the sebum. And for those that have like things like chronic acne and that kind of stuff, you'll often see in protocols these 2 essential oils joining or being layered with a tiny amount of something like a tea tree or a lavender, right? Does that make sense? And then you've got your base notes of frankincense and copaiba. I mean, hello. If that's not the divine in a bottle, I don't know what is, right? So you know that working with these two, their chemistry represents for us all anti-inflammation. They work with the pain body, right? So let's look at the subtle aromatherapy. It's working with the inflammation of big emotions, synergize with those florals and the fruits that we spoke about. Big emotions, helping you to process them out, because your skin is your largest organ, and anything that shows up on your skin, yes, at a physical level, it comes from the gut. Emotions need to be looked at as well. What's being suppressed? What's being trapped in? Anger, resentment, frustration, grief. These essential oils will work with those emotions as well. So my challenge to you all, if you choose to accept it, is to make a blend for yourselves, a beautiful roller blend to add to the magic and majesty and grace of the gift of the essential oils in there. Now, you don't have guntan. You can put a touch of grapefruit in it if you want, or if you want to reduce the photosensitivity, I would just use a green mandarin or a wild orange in it. Litsea, lime, green mandarin or wild orange, petitgrain, geranium rose, frankie, and copaiba. Add it to your chosen carrier oil. You can do a mix of the doTERRA fractionated coconut oil, castor oil, and jojoba. That's what I'd recommend, because castor oil draws out. It has a drawing out effect. You're going to regret asking me to talk about essential oils. I have to shut up now because I could go on. I could do a whole nother class on this for you. But suffice to say, I really believe, and I've worked with essential oils for a long time in different companies, I honestly believe that doTERRA's synergies, i.e. their blends, are unparalleled. Unparalleled. So when you're working with a formulation such as Solubel, and for those in the Northern Hemisphere, Immortel, you know this as, you are working with a synergy that is all about unification, homeostasis, and balancing. Okay, Effie is asking me, do I want you to make a blend for your face? No, I'm suggesting, my darling, I want you to make this blend, if you want to, only if you want to, as a signature perfume to enhance how utterly delicious you're going to smell with them and to soothe your emotions even more deeply. You don't have to. It's just because, you know, me and essential oils, I just love them. So you're going to smell amazing and receive the effect of all of these beautiful essential oils of your top, middle, and base notes. And I just want to remind you here, when you're using this complete skincare range, you are not going to smell like a walking, you know, David Jones. You know, when you walk into the perfume area and other skincare products, there's all this mix of different products. No, they're using the same essential oils on repetition throughout your skincare layering so that you smell and feel amazing. And yes, someone asked me where to put it. So, yeah, your wrist, your neck, behind your ears, they're your pulse points. Over your heart. You know, you might be feeling grief. You might want to deepen in your devotion time. You know, what are your daily devotions? So you can work with them. Okay. Tash, are you ready to come back, sweetie? And we can screen share again and take me off spotlight. Are you there, Tash?
I am. I was just like, I lost my words for a minute from this amazingness of thinking about this oil. I was going, oh, and then I could be doing my oils, and then I'm going to use my pure fume of the same balance of these high and low notes. And I was in that with you, Ness.
Great, honey. Sam, can you take me off spotlight, please, my darling? And we'll go back to the slides. Now, okay, to everyone who's still on this call and for those that will be watching the recording, this is, for me, one of my favorite gifts in this product range, in this skincare system, because I've been using it for, you know, I'm obsessed with aromatic dressing, and I aromatically dress every day, morning and night. I'm getting oils on my body. So I would add a drop or two, or if my skin was really having problems with hello menopause, I'd put a whole dropper full with the fractionated coconut oil. Now, when you need extra hydration, if you're going through the menopause journey or emotional dysregulation, nervous system dysregulation, dysregulated cortisol, like high stress, You are going to feel that reflected. Sam, if you could just mute everyone, please, darling. Someone's just come off mute. This will be reflected in your skin, as I said earlier. So you might feel extra dry. So adding this to it and combining these carrier oils with your fractionated coconut oil is going to help with absorption, locking in that hydration, and help you so you don't feel so itchy or stretchy or red or whatever it is that a lot of you message me about. It's great for the cuticles. Actually, Sam, sorry, I'm up and down. I know. Take off the presentation for a second. I just want to show them this, and you can pin me again. I was a nail biter when I was younger, so I have really weak nails, and I've got tiny nail beds, and my cuticles are often halfway up my fingers, so I've got to kind of work on them and massage them. If you look at them now, can you see that? Can you see how low they are? Like I've never had nails this strong since using Metapower Advantage, but also my nail beds so much stronger. They're not as weak, and my cuticles are down. And I've been massaging this into my cuticles just when I think of it after my face care. And also it is incredible on the hair. So you can see I've got very curly hair. Curly hair can tend to be on the dry side. I always get told how lush my hair is. I'm always putting oils in it. Leftover oils from my aromatic dressing, carrier oils. You know, you can do hair treatments with this and some castor oil and your fractionated coconut oil, whatever you want. Warm it up, tie it up with a towel, do whatever you want. But this is a booster for many things. You can also use it with your Soluble to help minimize the risk of scar tissue, and to, if you have existing scar tissue, to reduce that down as well. And of course, I don't want to confuse you all, but you love it. You can do some yarrow pom as well for scar tissue and prevention of that. Even mamas that are breastfeeding, that have dry, cracked nipples, this booster oil alone is perfect. When you've stopped breastfeeding, add the yarrow pom, but not before. You don't want the baby ingesting this. Whereas this is safe anytime. Not that they're going to be ingesting it, but, you know, on your nipples. And it's not going to burn it, and it's going to help heal it. Really good for post-cesarean or any emergency surgeries. Okay. I'm obsessed with carrier oils. This is another thing I could go into a whole class just on the carrier oils in this booster. But Tash, let's take it away and hear from you as a skincare teacher and professional. So take me off that and get the screen share back on. Thanks, Sam.
I'm equally obsessed with carrier oils. I think they're like unsung heroes. I think that the beauty industry takes over a lot of things, and we could really simplify it with just some really great carrier oils. This is actually going back to the question that we had at the start on vitamin A. So carrier oils and good quality carrier oils, they're like liquid gold. They have naturally occurring vitamin A, along with a lot of other key vitamins and minerals like vitamin E and vitamin C, like loads of things. Like they're really good. So they're definitely high in vitamin A and vitamin E's, and that really helps with that cellular turnover, the cellular function, the skin clarity, collagen induction, elasticity, bounce, all of the things. And so that's what this is actually where this comes into play. I love that it has the geranium sitting inside of this as a beautifier. Vanessa was just talking about the essential oils, but if I was to talk about like one word next to each of the essential oils, I would say that geranium is like the beautifier of the essential oils. It makes the skin glow. And then you're adding in all of these beautiful carrier oils and argan oils, like the king of oils and the queen of oils all through, just to give this the most amazing, brightening, hydrating, nourishing booster.
Okay, so the $1 million question is when to use this. So I'll let you answer this, and then I'll just speak as an aromatherapist into it after you.
Interestingly, it says step 0. Is that what it actually says? As in, like, it's sort of neutral, and that's because I think you could use it wherever. where are we meant to use the booster oils? I think this is because of the synergy of this product. You can use it at the start in the cleanser to make step 2. Step O, yeah, probably. You can use it in the cleanser to give it a beautiful barrier for those who are feeling that it's a little bit too astringent initially. But I personally like to do all of the steps and then add this at the end, because I really enjoy the nourishing, enhancing effect of the oils at the end. And we have a really beautiful serum included in the range, and so I like to add it at the end. I have had some people talk about adding it into the moisturizer and adding it into that. For me personally, I prefer to use the moisturizer or the hydrating cream, which is what it actually is, a hydrating cream. Being that I'm a little bit drier, I like to add my extra additional steps of my Yarrow Pom or anything else I want to add to that. But for me personally, I use the hydrating cream. I definitely love to use blue tansy and my myrrh and frankincense and sandalwood and those kind of essential oils. I always super hulk it and pimp it. Do we need it? I don't know. I'm just addicted and I love the smell. And then I would personally use this nourishing oil at the end, and I love to put the Yarrow Pom all over my neck and décolletage with it. And I'm with Ness, just having it that glow at the end.
Yeah, beautiful. I think the apricot kernel in this is genius, you know, combined with that beautiful geranium there, like you said, that beautifying oil, as is rose. I did write in the chat in case you missed it, but geranium is amazing for hair. It's often an unsung hero. So rosemary, Spanish sage, cedarwood, and geranium are and some lavender in there are particularly good for hair. For brunettes in particular, and for those with fairer hair, you would add some lemon and Roman chamomile to that, just an FYI. So, okay, Ikise has this incredible way of speaking to our skin, like literally communicating to our skin. So when I feel, I'm just going to grab my beautiful face cream. So when I feel I need extra hydration, this is where we're going to answer some of the questions around Yarrow Pom and things. I have played with, since I've had this since November, now this is my new one from convention, I have played with adding a drop of this to my moisturizer to see how that feels, and just feeling that in the morning. I've used the moisturizer on its own, gone through all the steps, then put the oil on. I've also used it after after I do the double cleanse, the balm and the cleanser, I then have taken my rose hydrosol just because I love it and I'm obsessed. And then I have used this and then done the other steps just to lock it all in, right? So I've really played with this to see what I want and how I want it. And I encourage you all to do it. See what feels good for you and your skin, because all of you are in different stages of your life and you have different levels of hydration required. I also love to put a drop of Yarrow Pom in this and a little bit of blue tansy at night before bed. It's just beautiful. So just like wash the face really gently and pop this in, and then take the intensive eye cream and then just really gently, you know, massage that in and give myself a beautiful massage in this area. So the synergy of this blend means it's multi-purpose. If you just wanted to use this on its own after you've done a double cleanse and you're just going to put this on before going to the gym, for instance, you could definitely do that. See what that feels like. Notice what that feels like before a workout, right? Have a little play. Remember, though, that what he has said here, in this booster oil, there are 4 types of beauty oils between your carrier oils, and your essential oil. So you can try using it directly after your face wash, so step 2, right? Which allows for direct and higher penetration. and then use the lotion, this one here. I tried that and I agree. It was incredible. It was amazing trying that. So then what happens is the rest of the steps are locking this oil in. So you can use the balm, the face wash, then this, and then everything else is going to lock that in and send it more deeply into those dermal layers. It's a very, very light texture. It's beautiful, the neck, décolletage area around your breast area. I'm loving it with my breasts and layering it with my Solubel for breast health and breast care. Yesterday, I had like this weird rash just appear just right here. Hello, menopause and the crazy things that happen. I literally just took this with a couple of drops, literally 2 drops of yarrow pom, and I massaged it in. And within about 5 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes, the red rash was there and the itching was completely gone. So remember that we have a complete skincare system, and some of these things are going to double up for other things, i.e. the booster oil, and it's customizable for you. So how do you want to use it and how does this work? Adding a drop to that face cleanser is beautiful as well. So for those of you that find it a bit too astringent, try adding a drop of this to it. Remember, geranium's working on softening the skin. So this is great for those of you that are outside a lot. This is where it's going to be great. Or exercising a lot, sweating a lot, hot flashing a lot. And the last thing I want to speak into, which we're going to go into next, I think, is, or coming up soon, is what's so good about this skincare system is you'll go through some things faster than others. Like for me, I think I'm going to go through this one of the fastest things, all right, because I'm using it so much. I love it. And I really love the balm, the cleansing balm. So I feel like really to replace the whole skincare system, you're looking at replacing it maybe twice a year, maybe 3 times. If there's a couple of you using it, 2 or 3 of you using it, but 2 to 3 times a year, you'll be looking at replacing the whole skincare. And like I said, there might be 1 or 2 that you just need to keep going, to keep replacing, right? I'm not sure where it is, Tash, but can we go on to the slide so that, Sam, there we go, comparison products. Tash, can you speak into this for us, please? Just so they understand the pricing and how this is an investment in their skin rather than, an expense. We're actually investing now.
Absolutely. I was noticing in some of the feed from the convention, just conversations of price. And I think we've been spoilt, absolutely been spoilt from doTERRA with the Virage and the beautiful facial daily cleansing kit and things like that. But when I was talking to Vanessa about what we use in clinic and what I use when I'm training in spas, and also what's comparison products for even when we're talking about the Japanese formulas. Some of these products, and I'm talking similar base ingredients like niacinamide, hyaluronic, even some of the beautiful Japanese flowers and essential essences and things are very similar. But these products range anywhere from $600 and the cheapest being, I think, $85 US. So definitely they are, the caviar of the skincare range. They're definitely pricey. But when we think about the Ikise range, it's a sophistication. So it's not just a basic range of just a cleanser that we can buy in a shopping center. These are actually you need education to be using this, which we've had tonight. Also some of the skin, issues or problems, or how do we use it with different stuff. It's not just that you can just buy it anywhere. Like this, we've actually been gifted with this, so that we can actually have this at this price, and especially this introductory price. And I know it's not actually the price, but I was trying to work it out, like the convention price divided by 7. And on that note, it's even beyond cost price of some of the stuff that we buy. So that's what I would say, is that have a look at when you divide it between the 7, how much each of them are, and then actually how much professional grade products. I mean, in my salon alone, most moisturizers average around $165 for a moisturizer. Our hyaluronics sit at around, with hyaluronics and niacinamides and things like that, sit around the 140 mark, 139 to 169. So we're very, very spoiled with doTERRA, and I am super excited that I can actually offer my clients and customers wholesale prices for this very sophisticated, profound range. You're on mute, Ness.
So you can see there's been some great testimonies that Sam shared on those slides that you'll all have access to. And then at the end, there's the QR code that you can lean into with your customers, and they can download that. And doTERRA has made a really comprehensive and actually very beautiful booklet, e-booklet and physical booklet that comes in the box that you can use. So I would recommend keeping the box for display, keeping the booklet for display, and for people wanting to learn more about it. Leonie has said, I bought 2 Clarins products over 10 years ago and they were over $500. Absolutely. Like this is, I was blown away. Someone told me it was $650 for one like tub of moisturizer thing, which was like as little as this. It's crazy what people, spend, and not even having natural products that they're working with. I would love to see how the booster oil also supports mamas with growing bellies, growing babies in their belly, around their breasts, around their stomachs, around the hip area, in the prevention of stretch marks. So I was like about a size 6 to size 8 before I had my daughter Ariel, and I used a combination of carrier oils and essential oils and did not end up with one stretch mark. So that is the power of something like a booster oil with this beautifully synergized product of carrier oil and essential oil. So
just speaking to that, Ness, while you're finding whatever else you're saying, is when we think about the body and why we get stretch marks, it's because we're lacking those elastin and also those vitamin E, and the carrier oil and those natural base oils all are high in vitamin E and all of those nourishing vitamins and minerals. So that's why it would work so beautifully. It's great for, we're talking about our necks dropping as we're getting older and all that elastin and tightening. And I just wanted to say, 7 steps, just talking back to what Vanessa said at the start, 7 steps is a lot, like for anyone starting new. But I love that eventually we're going to be able to buy these individual and you'll be able to work in with what you want. But it's just at a beautiful discounted price initially to get a taste of them and to try all of them so you can decide what your skin needs. I mean, you get some of those clients that actually just go, no, I just love oils. I only use oils. I have those clients. Well, fantastic. They'll be able to use one of the humic shale cleansers and then the beautiful oil to finish off, and then that'll be their routine done if that's what they decide, using some beautiful essential oils as actives to help support the skin. So I love that this takes, we've been able to, because we're a natural company and we are essential oil based, sometimes people just think, oh, it's all natural and it's not going to work. But this actually gives us option to educate our clients. They can start from here, or they can actually go right out here where they want to go with their skincare.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to speak into that 7 steps. So I said right at the beginning, I was completely overwhelmed with 7 steps. Now I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with the 7 steps. I actually feel like I'm going to come back to it. It is skin food. I want you to think about this as skin food. When I prepare a meal for my family and my loved ones, I am, the first step really is my father-in-law or the local farmers. They're planting seeds. They're starting with the soil, really good, healthy, organic soil. They're making sure that there's no herbicides, pesticides, fungicides, no chemicals being sprayed on it, right? Organic range of food starts there. And then they're really tending to it as they're growing. This is us doing the same for our skin. We want to give it a good base. You want to give this a good 6 months of using it daily, exactly as it's intended to be used, with the modifications that Tash spoke about that might be needed for extra sensitive skins like rosacea, for instance. And remember to just use tiny amounts. So this cleanser only needs, it's not even a pea, it's like half a pea size amount is all you need, right? Remember that is, you're exfoliating, you're activating that with a bit of water in your fingers and then just gently moisturizing your skin. I'm actually even taking that amount down my neck and décolletage and into my pits. And while I'm there doing it, I'm actually beginning with some lymphatic pumping around the pits, just very, very gently, 10 to 20 pumps on either pit. So I'm cleansing them and then I'm pumping them and getting them ready for that activation of the aromatic dressing and with the booster oil. So when you have the whole collection and you're trying them, you're going to feel for yourselves and smell for yourselves the glory and genius behind this system. The 4 steps will be coming soon, so that's going to be popular for some people as well. If you have some customers that want to start with that, for each of you, I highly recommend you start with the complete system, especially while it's the price it is. Okay, my darlings, I think we need to say goodnight because it's going to be a very long one for people to rewatch. But I do just want to say, if there is a question I've missed, just please flag it in the chat for me. We can do that after I turn off the recording. But I do want to say, Natasha, thank you so much for giving us your time, your love, and your care, and your IQ behind this. Like, you're totally genius with everything that you're sharing in this. And I, for one, am so grateful. So for those of you that feel really grateful and have learned a lot, please put an 8 in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
And feel free to just put your testimonials in there. How did you find this presentation? I'm interested to know how many of you, if you could put a number 5 in the chat, just to go back in order, if you could put a 5 in the chat, if you would like a lymphatic Zoom. Some of you had said yes when Natasha was talking about lymphatic work. Great.
Lots of 5s.
So would you like to learn a little bit about the gua sha and the pumping as well? The cupping, sorry, put a 4 if you want that. I'm going backwards.
And I was going to say, and how many of you actually want to know about the more advanced essential oils and their modes of action in the skin? Because that's a really good class.
So put a number 9 in the chat if you want to go into them. So we're talking Solubel, Yarrow Pom, Blue Tansy, Extra Frankie, Copaiba, Myrrh, those kinds of oils. Like rose, geranium. Yeah, okay.
How to work in the skin. Yeah.
Okay, we've done it. That sounds great. I know that my numbering system is interesting. This is the way my brain works. So we've got all of this down. Sam, I'm sure you're recording all of this. We will create a series of Zooms to come up over the coming months so you can gently digest the information. I hope this was really useful. Sam, my beautiful admin angel, I don't know what I'd do without you. Thank you for coming on. I put out an SOS and she jumped on. She will email you all tomorrow with the recording. She will give you the slides with that. It may need to come in 2 different emails if it doesn't fit on one document. And remember to go to the doTERRA DMK. Jess, I don't know, Jess Bell, if you can link them in the chat, please. And we'll send that in the email as well. The DMK has all of this. We love you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. And we hope that you enjoy Ikise as much as we have. Stay tuned for more education. When doTERRA have got some face-to-face events coming up, when your wellness advocates are doing things like balance, please attend them. The last balance was all focused on skincare and Ikise. So people got to take people so that they could experience this. Have some spa nights or spa days in your homes. You don't need lots of people. Just have a handful of your faves and tell them to bring a friend or 10 and get those people in those homes and pull out this system and have them smell it and experience it and feel it, because we don't have smell-o-vision and feel-o-vision yet, right? It's just seeing it on Zoom and it's not enough. So get back in front of the people. For our gorgeous customers here, please speak to the person who got you started with doTERRA and suggest to have a spa day with them. Bring your friends, your loved ones, your family along, and let's get this all natural. It's 100% natural, you guys, 100% natural skincare range, which is skin food, feeding the largest organ of your body into as many homes and onto as many bodies as we can. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks, Natasha. And I will see you soon. Oh, sorry. Wait, pause. Stacey, you've said, would you focus on hands or faces? It's up to you. Depending on your space and what you're doing, both are effective. When I've got a big group, I tend to do hands and only one hand so they can see the difference. Do a face and do half the face so they can see and feel the difference. Okay, everyone, feel free to send a message to me. My inbox is always open. Love you all so much. Thanks for being here. Thank you a million, Natasha. And thank you, doTERRA, for the genius that is Ikise and for amazing Eugene. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.